This is verse 4 of the 13th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus telling what is really a thematic parable. It's in some ways the parable about parables, you might say, and some commentators have viewed it that way. This is the parable of the sower, in which multiple types of responses to the seed that's sown are described here. So Jesus continues now. Kai, the connective, in. Preposition takes the dative. Here we have the dative, definite article, to, and then the infinitive, in the to sow. Spero is to sow. And this is called the articular infinitive. It usually, to get the sense of it in English, you insert something like the act of. So we would say in the act of to sow, or in the act of sowing. Obviously, it's not quite good English to translate it real literally, but the idea comes across plainly enough. So in the act of sowing, or in the to sow. Auton, the infinitive will take the accusative as its subject. And so auton here is actually going to be supplied as the subject of the infinitive. So in the act of him sowing, or as he was sowing, might be the best way to pull it over into English, as he was sowing. Here we have the plural relative pronoun, usually would be rendered which. A little awkward in this case, along with the inserted idea of on the one hand here. So which on the one hand, it doesn't quite make good grammar, and we would usually translate it to something like some, and that's the way it usually is rendered. So in the act of him sowing, or as he was sowing, some relative pronoun. Epicen from pipto. This is the third person singular. It's possible to do that with a plural neuter subject, which is what we have here. So some, on the one hand, fell. Third person singular, aorist, active indicative, para. With the accusative usually means alongside of. That seems to be the sense here. Para tain hodon, along the road. Along the side of the road is the idea. So it just fell along probably the hardened shoulder of the road would be some sense of it. So as he was sowing, some of the seed fell right along the road. Kai, elthonta from erchomai, means I come. This is the aorist active participle. It's the neuter, plural. Nominative, having come, would be the notion. It goes along with ta, petena, which is a bird. This is the plural. So some birds, the birds, came. Kataphagen. This is from katestho. Estheo means to eat. Kat estheo means to eat down or gobble down, we might say. It usually has that idea, the kata. Of course, the related word phago is also used to mean to eat. Normally comes in Greek in phagomai, and that's why we have the construction here. So kataphagen would be the notion that they gobbled it down. This is third person singular, aorist active, indicative. Auta is the neuter relative pronoun. Of course, it goes back to that which was sown. That which is neuter, of course, is implied here. And so they're gobbling it down, that seed that was sown along the way. So, of course, this is the first example of the way in which the word might be disposed of in the world. There are many who just hardly give it a moment's attention. The seed is there, and virtually before you know it, it's carried away, and a person gives virtually no attention to it.